as Nick Johnson has to fight his way back up to the leader, Austin McCusker, in the number 47 Motorsports Norma. McCusker is going to be hard-pressed to give up that lead, though, as further down the field, there is a look, and that was Keith Grant thinking about going up the inside of Nick Johnson, and Nick says, nope, thanks, I would like to keep this position, please. There's a move by, Robbie Foley has contact with the 88 of Charles Chi. That was not the brightest move by Foley, I'm afraid.
Came from a long way behind there, nowhere even close to Charles Chi. Charles Chi clearly there, the innocent victim. That was a very strange move from Robbie Foley.
Quite an experienced young driver.
Yeah, and Robbie, he was already 2 laps down, so it wasn't a battle even for a position on the racetrack.
Nope.
He wasn't going to gain anything from that, and why he saw the need to make that move, I'm not quite sure. It's very uncharacteristic for Robbie Foley.
It is, and I'm afraid he wouldn't make that corner if Charles Chi hadn't been there. He would have driven straight off the racetrack, so that should be something that race control looks at and makes a decision on in fairly rapid order. It is John Brownson who is chasing down Paul LaHaye still, as we get an opportunity to see Robbie Foley again. Yeah, terribly optimistic move by Robbie. Gotta say, I don't know what he was thinking there. He doesn't normally make those sorts of mistakes, but Charles Chi hopefully able to get things moving again. And
however, in the meantime,
back on the ranch, is it still Austin McCusker leading, Jeremy?
It is.
Excellent.
But he's got the 3-lap cars between himself and the second place car of Nick Johnson. That's the battle for 6th, 7th and 8th. Forgot to mention Zach Robichon, didn't I?
Yes.
So it's number 60, 55 and 4 who are running pretty much nose to tail, I think, in 2nd, 3rd and 4th on the road. And they are ahead of Nick Johnson. But Austin McCusker here, in terms of time, has a nice handy advantage over Nick Johnson in 2nd place. But there's that battle, 3-car battle behind him that is waging on.
Well, and for the 30 machine, if they can bring it home in the current position, which is 2nd, that would be every single race finished on the podium. And that in itself is an impressive record for Chris Wright. A pair of 3rds to start the season, a pair of wins in the middle of the season, and a 2nd place finish, a pair of 2nd place finishes. That's a good run for this first season of the endurance form of this championship with the longer form races. Paul LaHaye in the pink car, with Michael Klemecki several laps down in the blue and white car next in shot. Then Gerhard Watzinger again laps down in the black and red machine. And behind them, James French in the number 77, who, as far as I know, never came in to serve that penalty as...
No, he did.
He did?
Yes,
okay.
I'm sure he did. Yeah.
So Klemecki passes LaHaye. That is a position on track, but not in the running order. So Paul LaHaye should just let him go, but he does not.
John Brownson now has got past number 36. So John Brownson leads in NPC. And here is the battle for what is now second place. 3 wide coming into turn 1.
And James French does it. James French comes from 4th to 2nd in one turn.
No, actually, because he's a lap down to these other contenders, in fact. Yes.
Okay. I'll get a little bit less excited, but that was a great pass by James French to take advantage of 2 cars going into turn 1. That is not something many people would be brave enough to leave the foot to the floor. James French is one of those people, though. This was the only race last year, Jeremy, the only track at which Performance Tech Motorsport did not win on their way to a Prototype Challenge Championship in the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. A bit of unfinished business for both Kyle Masson and James French coming into the race this weekend. That's something that they'll have to worry about for the 10-hour race, as incident responsibility is placed squarely on the shoulders of Robbie Foley for that crash with the number 88. It will be a drive-through penalty for the 42. Completely agree with race control's decision on that one, as Paul LaHaye and Bart Wolf are battling back and forth for 2nd. Bart Wolf taking advantage and going around, which means that now the 28 is up into 2nd. And although with John Brownson leading, I don't know, it's close, because Wolf and Otis were 1 point up on Brownson and Wolf and Otis, so that means things right now would be going the way of John Brownson, but we have 3 minutes to go. Anything could happen at this point in the race. There could be a giant fluffy pink cat that walks out across the track and just knocks cars off. Jeremy, I wouldn't be surprised if that started happening, because we have seen it all in this championship today.
Just absolutely incredible, it really is.
Oh, it makes you giddy when you see this kind of racing where you really don't know what's going to happen until the checkered flag flies.
It's been a bizarre race. It hasn't been always wheel to wheel necessarily,
No.
but there's been lots of excitement, and continues to be.
Austin McCusker is our leader, 5 seconds over Nick Janssen in the number 30 car for Extreme Speed Motorsport that he shares with our champion-elect Chris Wright. In third, it is Keith Grant. He is only 1 second behind Nick Janssen, so that position is still up in the air. Second place still could go the way of the 40 machine. It is not a done deal for the Extreme Speed Motorsports yet. John Brownson is our leader in the MPC category ahead of Bart Wolf, and then Paul LaHaye. Stephen Dawes is still on that lap though. He is a further 5 seconds behind LaHaye, so he's got quite a bit of time to make up if he wants a real shot at it. We are down to the 2-minute warning.
There goes John Brownson across the line to complete lap 61. And we've got to wait for the second place car. There's two cars both lap down. There's Bart Wolf in second position across the line now, and behind him is kind of a 36 in third place.
Oh my goodness. So McCusker has stretched his gap now 6.5 seconds with 1:40 to go in the 2018 season. McCusker looking for his second win of the year alongside TJ Fisher, who put the car on pole yesterday, let's not forget, and did a good job off the start of the race, but it was his teammate who really took control of the show. That was Rodrigo Fluker. He was the one we were watching. A bit of misfortune for that car, as they had some drama. The car came into the pit lane with Anthony Simone and has not returned. White flag is in the air as Austin McCusker comes across the line, and he has one more lap around Road Atlanta, 2.5 miles to go. Just 12 turns. Keep it on the road, and you will get win number 2. John Brownson should be coming around here shortly to see the white flag as well. McCusker can almost reel himself in at this point. There's Brownson. He sees the white flag. McCusker's got nearly an 8-second gap back to second. He doesn't need to take any risks. And Nick Janssen just needs to play it smart and hope that everyone else does the same as well to bring that car home in second. The leader, Austin McCusker, has Tonis Katzmetz right in his rearview mirror. Austin, though, just doing what he's done all year, being very impressive when he gets behind the wheel of the car, Jeremy, going quickly, but being smart.
Yeah, John Brownson in that car number 34 for Eurosport Racing. Missed qualifying altogether because of an engine problem in practice yesterday. Started from the very, very back, came into the weekend 5th in the points table.
Here they come down the hill for the final time. Checkered flag is in the air, and Austin McCusker takes the win with TJ Fisher in the number 47 Motorsports Norma. The second win for them on the season, and way to go out in style. It cements Austin McCusker's second place in the championship. Nick Janssen brings it home in second, which means that Chris Wright is our champion.
It was Cameron Castles there to take the checkered flag in the 5th position, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be enough to clinch the Masters Championship.
And now we wait for John Brownson to come down the hill as well. He sees the checkered flag waving in the air, and he keeps both hands firmly on the steering wheel until he gets to the line, raises a hand in the air. Victory for John Brownson in the number 34 machine, and it should be enough. We will do the math. I'll have Jeremy do all of the counting, but that should be the MPC Championship going his way.
Well, a phenomenal season, Shea and Jeremy, coming to an end here at Road Atlanta. It's the last time, of course, we'll see the MPC cars. We move on to the P3's solo next year. They've been great servants in this championship down through the years, those Mazda-powered Elan chassis.
And think of all the great drivers who have cut their teeth in those cars. We've gotten the Sean Rahals, the Tristan Nunez's, the Misha Goikbergs, the guys who really learn how to control a car, the Kenton Cooks, the guys who learn just what it's like to drive when you've got almost nothing. As Paul LaHaye has gone off, was that on the cooldown lap or was that at the checkered flag?
I don't think you've actually seen the checkered flag, actually.
Let's see, here's a replay of it. He was was going side to side. He dropped 2 wheels and a big impact down the backstretch. I think that was next to Dr. Masson before the braking point in turn 10. Well, that's not the way he would have hoped to end his season.
No, he was out of championship contention in any case. But unofficially, from 5th in the points coming into this weekend, John Brownson will have 172 points, so 170 of Tazio Otis and Bart Wolff, 169 of Stephen Dawes, 166 of Howard Jacobs.
Wow. Yeah, the cars have